Mathew Barzal has been a New York Islander for 6 seasons now, and there was talk of him possibly becoming a free agent at the end of the season. However, that talk has now been quashed as the 25-year-old Canadian has signed a new long-term deal at the UBS Arena. Today, we're discussing Barzal's new long-term contract, plus other little bits and pieces, so stay with us. Let's jump straight in then. What do we know? Barzal signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Islanders back in 2015 and has since signed subsequent extensions to that initial deal. But going into this final season of a 3-year contract he signed in January 2021, there was some talk that Barzal could have his head turned by some other clubs around the league. However, he has allayed any fears of that happening after signing an 8-year contract with the New York outfit earlier this month. The contract will begin next season, and Barzal has suggested that there was never much chance of him leaving as he loves life in the Big Apple. He said, "I think that anyone who plays here knows that it's one of the top places to play in the league. From the practice rink, UBS Arena, the boys in the room, general manager Lamoriello being here, a fresh coaching staff, the city itself 30 minutes from New York City. The lifestyle is elite. I've loved it here literally every minute. There's no place I'd rather be." Of course, Barzal could have left for free at the end of the season, but he spoke about how close he was to joining another team, and it turns out he wasn't close in the slightest. He revealed that he never had any talks with any other team and reiterated his commitment to this organization and the guys in this room. Nice to see loyalty is still alive and well in professional sports, right? What else do we know then? Well, Barzal spoke of his joy about spending the next 8 years of his life in New York, and the Islanders GM Lamoriello also spoke of how the situation had the potential to become a distraction. However, those fears were extinguished as Barzal signed his new deal before the season began. Barzal has become one of the Islanders' most important players in recent years. In each of his 5 full seasons with the team, he has led or tied the scoring for his team. Last time out, Barzal was involved in 59 goals, scoring 15 himself and providing 44 assists, which isn't bad going at all. However, with the Islanders missing out on the Stanley Cup playoffs last season, there is much work to do at the UBS, and a new contract for Barzal will go some way to begin the rebuild. With a relatively new coach in the form of Lane Lambert at the helm, the Islanders will be hoping he can get the best out of Barzal. Lamoriello certainly thinks Barzal's new contract is a good thing and commented on how he has improved ever since he arrived, before adding, "There's no question that he's improved his game without the puck. He knows he has a way to go in that area, and he's committed to that, and our coaching staff continues to work with him with that." He then claimed that Barzal could get even better in the future. What do you guys think? So, how does Barzal's new contract help the Islanders going forward? Let's see. Well, of course, they now have a player who they can truly build a team around, as Mathew Barzal is a truly exceptional talent. Some suggested that Barzal could have scored more last time out, but he's definitely a huge part of their offense. Possessing some of the best puck-handling skills in the league, Barzal is also a fantastic skater and has an uncanny ability of drawing his opponents in before creating quick scoring chances on the rush. Barzal's new deal will only be seen as a shrewd investment if the Islanders now go out and acquire the right players to put around him. Some have suggested a shooter on the wing will help Barzal, and Lamoriello, who doesn't particularly have to worry about acquiring star players now that Barzal is tied down, can simply focus on bringing the players who will complement their star man best. And it's easy to forget that Barzal is still only 25 years old. He hasn't even hit his peak yet, and there's undoubtedly much more to come from the talented Canadian. Some around the sport have pointed out that there are still a few areas for Barzal to improve in, like becoming more aggressive in the offensive zone. But if he can continue improving over the next couple of seasons at the same rate he's been over the previous few, then he has the potential to become one of the Islanders' best ever players. What do you guys make of the Islanders' future with Barzal? And now, suggestions that the Barzal deal has helped Islanders fans forget about the John Tavares saga. After years with the Islanders and arguably becoming the face of their franchise, John Tavares upped and left, signing a long-term deal with his hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Fans were left stunned as Tavares signed a 7-year deal with the team north of the border and feared that deja vu could be setting in earlier this offseason with Mathew Barzal. However, Tavares' countrymen spared Islanders fans another heartbreaking situation after signing on the dotted line to extend his stay. JT had always harbored feelings of playing for the Maple Leafs, but Barzal is cut from a different cloth. He acknowledges what the Islanders have done for him, and as such has shown immense loyalty to the team that developed and embraced him as a native New Yorker. Barzal has been tipped to finally help the Islanders get over their long Stanley Cup disappointments in coming years, and he's even said in the past that he wants to finish his career on Long Island, meaning that there was never really any likelihood that the messy Tavares saga would repeat itself. What did you make of Tavares when he left? Next up, Barzal has already begun to repay his new deal. Stay tuned. The New York Islanders took on the Florida Panthers late last week, and although they were beaten 3-1, Mathew Barzal was able to register his first assist of the season for a Noah Dobson consolation goal. However, they got their season up and running for real Saturday night as they trounced the Anaheim Ducks 7-1. Barzal was again in amongst the assists as he provided for Scott Mayfield's second goal and the Islanders' fourth, while again assisting Robin Salo as he made it 6-1 to the New York team. Salo added his second a short time later to complete the rout, adding to Mayfield's two, as well as goals from Noah Dobson, Oliver Wahlstrom, and Anthony Beauvillier. Barzal's performance was eclipsed by a superb performance from Anders Lee, however, as the winger provided 3 assists for his team. If the Islanders are to end their 40-year Stanley Cup drought this season, they'll need to have all of their stars singing off the same hymn sheet, and performances like Saturday's against the Ducks will go some way to convincing the Islanders' loyal fan base that they have a real shot at potentially going far in the competition this time around. Do the Islanders have what it takes to trouble the more fancy teams like the Avalanche and the Maple Leafs? Let us know below. The New York Islanders hierarchy were hoping to introduce a new tradition this season, which would have been an air raid siren ring out around UBS Arena in a nod to their old Nassau Coliseum Stadium in Uniondale. Before puck drop last week in the first game of the season against the Panthers, the organization pumped out the rather annoying siren, but in the lead-up to their second game of the season against the Ducks, fans were informed by the Islanders' official Twitter account that they'll be abandoning the gimmick. A negative response by fans was thought to be the reason, and the team's mascot, Sparky, could be seen disposing of a siren in the garbage can. It was supposed to be cranked just before puck drop by Cobra Kai actor Ralph Macchio, but once fans had spoken out, the idea was quickly disposed of. The Islanders wanted the sound to emulate the Coliseum from back in the day, but it simply didn't work. It didn't help that team legend John Tonelli just kept cranking the siren until it was unbearable, when once or twice would have done just fine. Some fans pointed to the fact that the Carolina Hurricanes have recently introduced a siren at their games, also suggesting that the Islanders' efforts just felt tacky. What do you guys think? Good idea or no? As always, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to tune in again next time when we'll be discussing all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, while also sharing it with any hockey heads you know of. Bye guys.